What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Where the Money At. We on episode 32, and you know we're keeping it rocking and rolling. We like to talk about several assets, but you know we're locked in on cryptocurrency right now. So let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of the Bitcoin price action. Then we're going to get into what I saw at the cryptocurrency conference I went to. Then we're going to discuss a little bit about our perspective on crypto and why we need to pay attention to the top 100 projects to see who's building or not. So let me share my screen and let's get right into it. So let me refresh CoinGecko real quick. We have Bitcoin. Current price is at 26,500. Ethereum is sitting at around $1,584, and BNB is sitting around $210. Now we're gonna come back to this chart to discuss some certain things about some certain projects, but let's just go right into a little bit of the TA since that's everybody's most entertaining thing. So we have Bitcoin in the Tether USD chart, and as you can see on the daily, we have gone above the 200-day EMA. That's what this line is, the 200-day EMA. We have gone above it, and we have broken right back down below it. So we need to see what's going to happen. Are we going to turn this into support and stay on top of it? That'll be support. Or are we going to turn it to resistance and start to stay under it? So you can see in the past, it has been support, broke through, resistance, came down, and it may be resistance again. So let's just check the RSI really quickly. And you know what, let's just check the RSI and the MACD at the same time. And I'd like to check those on the weekly. So we have this major downtrend that we're coming against, and the price is actually above the 200-week EMA, which is, you know, from what I see here is the MACD says we have a little bit more momentum to go down. The RSI says we're not either oversold or overbought. We're kind of right in the middle. So really, we're just seeing the weight and kind of, you know, seeing what happens. Let's check on the monthly. As far as the monthly MACD, the momentum was positive, then it came down to negative, and it's looking like it's kind of stagnant. It's neither, you know what I'm saying? And also on the RSI, neither overbought nor oversold. So we're really in no man's land, and I guess we need to see what's going to happen because, you know, we're always predicting, but at least normally I have some sort of idea, but you know, I think we're just playing the waiting game and waiting and seeing, and that's okay because, you know, while it's uncertain, we have more time to think and be calm versus it's just crashing or versus it's taking off. So this may not necessarily be a bad thing. But the reason why I was going so long is, man, I was living life, man. I had stuff to do. I went to a cryptocurrency conference, Permissionless. So really quickly, I'm gonna just show you about 30 seconds of my little trip there and just kind of break it down.
Optimistically, these will be my words. We might get for end of this year, maybe pessimistically.
Just walking in, just kind of showing you everything that's going on. Had some great speakers.
Has gone back to calling crypto useless or a scam or whatever they want to call it. So I just want you to remember.
These were the organizers opening it up
right now. The conviction that you have.
They had the racing simulator. I had a top 10 time for the Formula One simulator, but they knocked me off. They had an NFT gallery with some crazy art in there.
And that increase in surface area signals and indicates to us.
Great speakers. And, you know, met up with some people.
And so what do? You just
got to hear this guy live.
You stuff it everywhere. We stuffed it in the banks. Literally, the banks were required to buy treasuries.
Actually, that was Mark Yusko. So I got to see him live, and I'm not gonna lie, he was spitting. He was up there talking some crazy talk, and I really enjoyed myself. So if any of you guys ever get to go to a cryptocurrency conference, please hit me up. I would love to try to meet you guys, try to go to as many as possible because that was my first one. And now I think I'm addicted. So, and then it was during a bear market, so it wasn't really popping like that. But everybody there, you knew, was serious about cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wasn't there looking for the next hot coin. Like everybody was seriously there asking about innovation and things of that nature. So let's get into the topics of today. Let's look at the top 100 coins. And what I want to stress to you is, well, let's look at the top 10. What I want to stress to you is the old top dogs will not be the new top dogs. This top 10 list is going to fluctuate. This top 100 list of projects is going to fluctuate. And here's something I want y'all to pay attention to. Y'all remember Pepe was popping? Pepe was in the top 100. Pepe is 119 now, and it's slowly diving down. It may take off again, but it's slowly going down, and you're not hearing as many people talk about it. You see how it quietly slid out of the top 100? You know what I'm saying? And you have to pay attention to things like that because that's how these things fluently change. And you have to pay attention to who's building in the bear when you're looking at these projects. You'll hear about XRP building. You'll hear about BNB doing things, but they're going through some legal troubles right now. You'll hear about USDC, Circle doing some things. You'll hear about Tether doing some things. I've heard Cardano, Solana, Polygon, Chainlink, Avalanche. I've heard several companies building, which gives me faith on who to look to going into the next bull market. None of this is financial advice, but we need to stop living in the past when it comes to Bitcoin. Let me lower these down right here. We need to stop living in the past. Why? Because this asset class has matured. And what does that mean? 4 or 5 years ago, some major news would have had Bitcoin price jumping. News does not move cryptocurrency anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like the halving may not mean what it has meant in the past. Like just because we've had 4-year cycles and it's had a new all-time high a year after the halving or however it goes, that doesn't mean anything because these cryptocurrency is so young. All the indicators and patterns before are likely to be invalidated at this point. And Bitcoin is going to do new stuff, which is great because we want this asset class to mature and grow, but we also need to be alert and not thinking that the past is going to determine what's going to happen in the future. And that's something I want you guys to be careful about. So let's stop living in the past with this and let's get ready for it to do some new stuff. And let's pay attention to these top 100 coins, or not necessarily top 100, but anything that you want to look at and pay attention to if they're building in the bear market versus just doing great marketing or just tweeting every day or just have a new screenshot of their new game that's come out, but there's no demo yet. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. So the last thing, well, 2 things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the perspective of how we look at cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So imagine this. Imagine you're 65-ish years old and you have a large multi-million-dollar portfolio of real estate, stocks and bonds, metals, precious metals, and cryptocurrency. Of all those, you have everything in your basket, in your portfolio. How much attention are you paying to cryptocurrency? You're not going to pay that much attention to it. And I want people to have that perspective because I don't want people to overextend themselves as far as paying attention to this asset class because you have to do other things. I personally need to work on this myself. Like I'm talking to myself as well. Like you don't want to get too involved in one area because it's still a very volatile asset class. You know what I'm saying? And institutions are taking it more seriously, but it's not that big of a player yet. You know what I'm saying? And, I say the same things like we should look into it because of that reason, but also, you know what I'm saying, this thing could go away tomorrow. So I want everybody to be careful. And I don't want anybody to overextend themselves to invest in this asset class. I talked to somebody this morning that put their life savings into Celsius. Now, Celsius crashed a long time ago, but you'll still run into a bunch of people who are still hurting and trying to recover from that. A lady told me she put up her life savings inside of that. And I was so glad I got to talk to her because we talked for a little bit and I gave her my perspective on the situation. And she's still optimistic because she says she's learned her lesson and she keeps saying she's new in crypto. I'm like, you're not new in crypto anymore. You have your battle scars now. If you come in crypto, you're going to take L's. And that's why I don't want anybody to overextend themselves. Look, there's 1,000 new projects that come out every day. Do not rush to put your life savings into these projects. If we go all the way down and check page 101, look at all these projects that you're never going to hear about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. Like Real Smurf Cat BSC. Like, come on, man. Like people just do anything. You can make coins just like that with a push of a button. It's all code. So I don't want anybody to hear about Yes Token and just throw their life savings into it. You know what I'm saying? None of this is financial advice, but there will be some winners, and there will be some opportunity to find new coins that have promise, and there's nothing wrong with throwing a little bit in there. But even the top coins can go away overnight. So those smaller coins can go away even quicker than that. And the worst part about crypto is it doesn't ever go to zero. It just keeps getting smaller. You know what I'm saying? Like this is 6 cents. Dogecoin is 6 cents, but it can just keep losing zeros, like zero. Like that can turn to a zero, and then that can turn to a zero. It never goes to zero. That's the worst part about crypto. If it went to zero, you could just deal with it, throw it away, move on. But I'm not going to linger on that anymore. You guys get the point. And the last thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of information out there, and I want you guys to be careful of who you're taking information from. If you just put in Bitcoin, let's just search Bitcoin. They got CNBC, which I listen to and I bring you guys information from. There's so much information out there. There's so many channels, so many thumbnails. They're all made to get your attention. Some of these people are out for your best interest, and some of these people aren't. And the thing I want you to do is be careful, because you're going to have to take in a bunch of information, and you're going to have to become well versed in listening to these type of information to understand who's BSing, who's giving you real information, who's trying to shield you a project, who's trying to shield their brand. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm fully transparent with you guys. Like once I build a bigger audience, like I'll have a clothing product, you know what I'm saying? But it'll still be the best information I can bring you on how to be safe, how to manage this without getting wrecked, and how to possibly put yourself in the best opportunity to make money in this space without trying to shield you. Or when I say shield, for people who are not in crypto, without trying to promote one particular cryptocurrency just because I'm in it, because I put $1,000 in it and I want to see it grow. You know what I'm saying? People do that, and I ain't hating on nobody, but I don't care for bad practices. I'm not anonymous. You see my face. I'm not pseudo anonymous. I'm J Trip. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I'm not going to ramble on. I just wanted to give you guys some quick information to get back into it, and we're finna get back rocking and rolling. And I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I'm going to holler at y'all.